Hello to all, and thank you for listening and supporting me on this journey of mine. And I get a lot of solace when I jump on here, and I tend to reflect on my life, and that's the reason why I thank the people who do listen and interact and do have conversations around my podcast. So I'm truly grateful and appreciative. Not long ago, I spoke about aging, and I spoke about how essential it is for us to be able to stay in tune, reinvent, and stay focused as we progress in age, because it's something that we can't escape. It is part of our being. It's part of our journey, and I think the more comfortable we get with it, I think the better our lives. So just to follow up on that conversation I had, only simply because I did I did have a couple of conversations afterwards. So everything I say is from a very personal perspective. It is through my own experiences and what I have gained doing certain things I do. And everything I do in my life comes through experience, comes through observation. Not necessarily I walk into my general practitioner or my physio, or I don't do I have never psychology has always interested me as a subject. I think it is essential for people who are struggling and who need answers and who need to be listened to. There are ways of doing this. You can use your local psychologist. You've got to be careful, though, who you choose, because there are some who are there because they get paid an hourly wage, and there are others who genuinely listen and who genuinely would like to make a difference in your life. The same with our friends. There are friends in our lives who will be, and family members who will be extremely honest with you. And when I say honest with you, they will go, Neil, I think you're putting on weight, and you have, you know, an issue with your metabolism. So are you doing things to balance your life? Maybe not eat that much, or eat the right foods, exercise right, etc., etc. Now, many a times we will misunderstand those conversations as people being, people nagging or intruding, you know, into our spaces. And those are the people that we have to sort of invite into our lives, because those are the people who are genuinely looking out for us, and who will not hesitate to say, hey, stand up, do a bit of exercise. Hey, if you're a bit depressed, let me come along this journey, and let's go to an art gallery, or let's go to a park or a beach, etc. Because there is time in our day for many of us where we can multitask, where we can basically include several people in our lives. So, for example, if I'm spending time with my mother and I see a friend of mine who is struggling, I can gain permission from both and bring them together and maybe go out for a walk, take them out for a drive, and therefore I kill two birds with one stone. And at the same time, what happens is that interaction between these two individuals from different parts of my life is quite enriching, as long as we guide the conversation and we know why we are there. So, as I said, most of my information that I share comes from a very personal space, and the reason why I do that, because I know it works for me, and therefore it if other people tailor it to their needs, it would probably work for them. What I do in the morning, my life has gotten a lot. My What I have in my life has gotten a lot smaller. I am now filtering out things. So I am getting rid or sharing the clothes that I I have bought over the years that I don't require. It doesn't matter how expensive your jackets are. Doesn't matter how expensive your shoes are. Doesn't matter how, if you bought expensive materialistic things like statues and lamps, etc., so on and so forth. You can shed them, and the sooner you shed them, and the more minimalistic you become, I haven't reached that point yet. I have got rid of a lot of stuff. I need to get rid of more. I do have a lot of artwork and statues, etc. that I am getting rid of, and I have. And I have minimized my furniture, but it is a very important thing that we do consider is minimizing a lot of the material stuff around us and making our spaces a little bit more cleaner and greener. So I don't have a green thumb, but what I do recommend is if you can get indoor plants are really essential. It cleans the air. If you're not a plant person, get some greenery, even if even if it's one of those fake plants, in the corner of your room, in your lounge room, or in your bath, or wherever. Just have a collection of greens. It actually helps. It helps me quite a bit. I am a bit of a religious person. I'm more spiritual, so I will meditate and I will say prayers, and it doesn't have to be structured. It can be anything, and you can speak to anyone. If you don't have a God, if you're an atheist, yes, then the meditation, calming your mind, reflecting, not necessarily emptying your head out, or keeping it blank, or trying to attain, total calm. You can speak to yourself, and I think that does help. So if things are going wrong, if you need answers, maybe ask yourself the question and try to answer it, taking your abilities into consideration. So what I do in the mornings nowadays, because my life has gotten a lot smaller, I have got back to work. I am studying as well, and I do a lot of theater. So my days are busy. But what I'm starting to do is I make my bed religiously. That's something I do. So I make sure I interact with my dog Cooper religiously in the morning. I make sure I stretch a bit in the morning. So that's my day. I'm not extensive in what I do, but it's in bits and pieces, but I make sure I do them. So I make sure I don't wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and I walk around my space. No, I stay in bed till it gets a bit bright. That's when I wake up. I make myself a cup of coffee. I, you know, so what I do nowadays, I have limited my coffee. I used to drink like 6 cups a day, but now I just drink two. So in the morning, it'll be a shot of coffee with a bit of honey. I think honey is quite essential. Again, that's for me. So honey is quite essential in my life. And I'll take a spoon of honey. I try to stay away from sugar nowadays. I try to stay away from salt. And after I take that shot of coffee, I in most days I take Cooper out for a walk. We go down to the park. These are essential things to do. Well, the other thing is quite crucial is pressure points in your body. And you don't have to be religious and you don't need to know the exact pressure points in your body. So, for example, your feet are very essential. Your calves are very essential. So flex. So when you wake up in the morning, you've had your coffee, you got a bit of energy, even in the shower, flex your legs, flex your calves, relax your muscles, stretch your feet, massage under your feet. If you have a partner, I would say do that with your partner as well before you go to bed or when you're waking up. It builds that relationship and that bond, especially for older couples who we go and there's this conversation, this narrative. We've been together for 30 years. We've been together for 20 years. It doesn't matter how long you've been together for. Okay, it's important that we nurture our relationships. We get rid of the noise around us. So you don't have to do this religiously every day, but if you have a partner and if you want to build a bond, I say your pressure points are quite essential. So if you're lying in bed early in the morning and you haven't woken up yet and you still got time in bed, I would say the shoulders, rub the feet, the pressure points under the feet. They are more or less near your heel, near your toes. Do the same thing with your hands as well, your palms, your crown and your head. Just give it a bit of a massage. The other thing you can do is if your partner is not sensitive to touch, sort of very gently maneuver your hand from the top of the back to the bottom of their bum. So it's a very gradual motion from top to bottom. Do it a few times. And what this does is it stimulates various parts of your body. First thing in the morning, it also emotionally builds the connection, strengthens the connection with your partner. And it's so very essential. But please, 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 if you're in a relationship, don't listen to conversations that are in detriment, because not necessarily all of us are going to gel every single day, every single hour. Some relationships are stronger than others because they know how to develop their relationships. And the way they develop their relationships is by canceling the noise around them. You have to have great respect for your partner. You're going to have conversations. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have fights, and they are natural. They are very normal because you're living in close proximity. But at the end of the day, when you turn around and say, guess what? I am so sorry that it was my fault, and I accept what I did, that turns the whole relationship around. I encourage hugs. I do. When I was young, I was silly. I never knew this information. Oh, I knew the information, but I was too proud to follow through on occasion. So when I had an argument with my partner, it would take me a few days to recover. And I think it's quite essential that once you snap out of it and you find the space, realize, yes, some people are bad in our lives, and not necessarily they're there because we all don't connect. But when we do find that those people that we do connect with, then I say it is honestly extremely, extremely powerful if we turn around and say, guess what? I did you wrong, and I'm so sorry. I should not have ever argued with, it was my fault. Stuff like that. Or gestures like, hey, we had an argument. Let's get over it. Let me buy you lunch. Let me buy you dinner. Let's go to the park. I'm coming over to your place. Let's go for a drive. And what we do then is our relationships get richer, and we don't feel alone. We don't feel isolated. It's so important that we do extend ourselves, especially to people around us who we know require our presence. So yes, the aging process is quite confronting for many of us, and sometimes, especially where health is concerned, we are not able to do things. But I encourage you, if you are depressed and you are stuck at home, and you think you're too much of an introvert, and there's this dialogue in your head, no, I'm an introvert, so it's normal to stay home, and this is where I get my happiness and joy from, I will tell you, through experience, no, that's wrong. So I would encourage you, even if you have to go on your own and sit in the park and watch people mingle, it's not depressing to go see other people have fun and enjoy the environment. It is actually quite, it's a gift when you can acknowledge and admire other people's lives from a distance and appreciate the gifts that we all have in a way, and we are all given. And therefore, it's essential to share gifts as well. Anyway, look after you. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.